everyone, how's it going? And welcome to today's Wild Rift video. I bet you never thought you'd see me play Sona and do it, even a video on Sona as well, but I will be showing you all Sona. I'll be showing you a really secret tech with Sona that I think not a lot of people know about, especially when I take a look at the EU ladder compared to the Chinese ladder when we're looking at the Sona leaderboard. But the new Star Guardian skins came out. I've been covering all of the skins. I've done Zoe, I've done Kaiser, and now we're going to be doing Sona. But as I said, there is a really interesting build that's been going around at the moment in China, and yes, we are running Fleet Footwork Sona. Now I'm going to explain a little bit later on about Fleet Footwork. Obviously we'll go through the build and everything as well, but honestly, Fleet Footwork works insanely well with Sona. Make sure that she's a little bit more viable in the early game, because that's really where Sona's weak point is, and it scales and it does insanely well when Sona scales into the mid and late game as well. But before we get to the runes, let's take a look at the items first. The first one is our support item. Most of the games you want to go for Spectral Sickle. Now the reason why you go for Spectral Sickle on Sona, and the reason why you don't go for Relic Shield, which I probably need to change on my website as well, as I've been playing Sona, I've been slowly starting to realize this, that your passive is really important, depending on what ability you use, whether it's your first ability to deal bonus damage, your second ability to reduce the damage on enemy champions, or the third ability to slow the movement speed. Making sure the auto attack enemy champions is going to be really important, and it's even more important because we're also going for Fleet Footwork, which gives you insane value when you're auto attacking enemy champions. So that's why we're going to be using Spectral Sickle. We're not going to go for Relic Shield because we don't want to waste both our Fleet Footwork and our passive auto attack on minions. Then we go for the boots straight away. Boots of mana are really strong on Sona early on. You get this as soon as possible. It's great. A lot of ability power. Mana regeneration helps Sona out a lot during the early game. A little bit of movement speed and also magic penetration. And for the boots upgrade, there are quite a few options at the moment for supports. You can go for many different options. You can go for rejuvenation is really strong right now if you want to get the extra little bit of healing effect with the blessed passive. You can also go for, where am I looking? There it is, Locket. Locket is also pretty good because the shield is now both values, both armor and magic damage. So again, that is very helpful. Or you can go for something like Veil Enchant as well if you're against a lot of crowd control and maybe you need to help someone with crowd control on your team. So that's for the boots. And then for your first completed item, Archangel Staff, really strong on Sona. Again, it's kind of the same thing as before with Sona. It kind of stayed the same in terms of the build because Sona uses up a lot of mana because she's spamming all her abilities over and over again, not only to deal damage, to heal your team, but also to gain movement speed, but also to get her passive up as much as possible, because that auto attack with the second ability, for example, being able to basically exhaust enemy champions is very powerful, and your third ability can slow enemy champions, and that allows you to chase enemies and do a lot of damage overall. So yeah, Archangel Staff still pretty strong. It does make Sona a little bit slow. I mean, early game Sona is not great. I think everyone knows that, even with Fleet Footwork, making life a little bit easier during laning phase. That first team fight might not go in your favor, but trust me, just scale, just farm up the Archangel Staff, just keep spamming your abilities. Even if you're walking to lane, just spam your abilities over and over again and get this upgraded as soon as possible, because when it gets upgraded into Seraph Embrace, then you're going to be able to get that shield as well, which will be able to help you, and you'll basically have unlimited mana in the late game. But yeah, plenty of ability power, plenty of ability haste as well, which is going to help you out a lot. Staff for Flowing Water and Ardent Sensor, both these items are very strong. Doesn't really matter what order you put them in. It really depends on what you want. Do you want more damage yourself, and do you want more ability power for yourself, and also to give you some extra ability haste? And you can go for Staff for Flowing Water because overall this is a better item for Sona, or you can go for Ardent Sensor before that if you want to try and buff up your team more, because you'll be able to do AoE shielding and AoE healing with your second ability, which will allow you to proc both the Sensor passive and also the Rapids passive, which means that yourself and your allies are going to get a bunch of attack speed, a bunch of damage, a bunch of ability haste and ability power. So both these items are going to help you out a lot in terms of support items. And then your final item could be something like Death Cap, just a lot of ability power and just allowing you to keep yourself you know, alive with all that ability power, which means more ability power means more damage and also more healing and shielding. I do have 2 other items here that you can maybe try out. I tried Spirit Visage for 1 game. I think it's pretty decent, increasing all healing and shielding effects on you by 30%, which is quite nice to buff yourself. But also, if you're against a lot of magic damage, this is a really good magic resist item. Or you can go for something like Iceborne Gauntlet if you're against a lot of armor. Again, you can try and proc this as much as possible with Spellblade passive to be able to slow enemy champions. If you want to go for something like that, you can. But again, most of the time in terms of defensive items, there's not really too much. Maybe go for something like Protector's Vow to get a little bit more shielding. Maybe something like Twin Guard to make you a little bit more tanky. It really depends. You very rarely go for these 2 items, but it's just there as an alternative if you're against a lot of AD or AP damage. Right, let's talk about runes and let's talk about fleet footwork. Now, the reason why fleet footwork is insanely strong. Now, most of the time what happens with Sona in the laning phase, especially when you're running Spectral Sickle, you walk up, you try and poke with your abilities, you try and auto attack to proc your passive, and most of the time you're going to be losing the trade. If you're against like a Karma, a Nami, anyone like that, you're pretty much going to be losing the train. What fleet footwork allows you to do is it allows you to heal with that auto attack with fleet footwork. It also allows you to restore missing mana as well, which is actually pretty big on Sona. And as you can see, it does get reduced to 20% when attacking minions or monsters. So you need to make sure that you auto attack a champion every single time fleet footwork is up and available. You can see here, moving, attacking, and casting builds up energy stacks, which is pretty easy to do on Sona. You're going to be really fast. You're going to be spamming your abilities a lot, which is what makes it really good in the late game, because you're going to be auto attacking champions over and over again in the late game, which allow you to get a ton of movement speed, get that little bit of healing for yourself, and also restore the mana. So you keep restoring mana over and over again. You keep auto attacking over and over again. So yeah, increased movement speed, and also movement speed does help you out a little bit as well. Laning phase, it allows you to zone a little bit easier, allows you to dodge skill shots, and then the late game is the same thing. You just run around like an absolute mad woman and just keep using your abilities over and over again. Again, I think there is a little bit of a skill ceiling with fleet footwork, because as I mentioned, you need to make sure that you auto attack champions, that you know when to trade and when not to trade with Sona, because you can get caught out pretty easily in the early game. So if you don't want to go for fleet footwork, you can just go for the default option, which is Summon Airy. But trust me, with fleet footwork, it's pretty insane. But yeah, Summon Airy is also another option if you want to go for that. As for the other runes, for the main tree, for the first tree, we're going to go for Resolve, because it gives us Font to Life, which is going to give us, again, a little bit more sustain, a little bit more damage during the laning phase if your AD carry walks up and helps you out. And if you mark the champions, and it's pretty easy to mark champions, it can be pretty helpful. Bone Placing will help you a lot to survive in the early game, in the mid game, pretty much any stages of the game. And then Revitalize gives you that little bit of an extra buff with your healing and your shielding. Then for the secondary rune, Transcendence, again, more ability haste, allowing you to use more of your abilities more often. It's going to be great. You can also go for something like Gathering Storm. I did try out Gathering Storm. You can maybe go for this as another option if you want a bit more scaling into late game. But to be honest, I think you already have a lot of scaling in the late game anyway, so that's why most of the time I go for Transcendence for the extra ability haste, just so we can use our abilities more often. And then for summer spells, we're going to go for Flash and Heal. But yeah, if I just quickly show you my match history, I haven't played that, I played like a few games on Sona. Unfortunately, I lost the last game I played, but you can see like all the victories here that we got, and this is all by using fleet footwork Sona as well. A few MVPs in there. We got Soraka, which will be a little bit of a teaser for tomorrow's video. Even the 2 games that I lost, I was a little bit unfortunate, because we lost a lot in the early game. But I think yesterday I went like 1, 2, 3, 4, like 5, 6, 6, like 7 wins and 2 losses, which is kind of crazy, to be fair, in terms of win-loss, you know, especially in somewhere like Grandmaster as well. But pretty decent overall. Pretty happy with how Sona is performing at the moment. As I mentioned, the only thing with Sona is that you are fairly weak in the early game, so you do need to be a little bit careful. But if you scale, if you do really well, if you just survive in the early game, you're going to scale into a late game monster. So hopefully you enjoy the gameplay, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next wild video. Peace. Overall, wins losses today have actually been pretty good. Actually performed really well today so far. I'm pretty happy with my overall performance today. Feel like we have had a pretty W day. Maybe I should try CDR boots on Sona. Okay, I need to make sure I trade with fleet footwork. Also, maybe level 2 for trading is probably better. Yeah, because now he's going to walk up because he knows I don't have Q. Ouch. Why is he going anti-heal first? It's so cringe, actually. I thought he was going to aim it outside of the bush. Like that. Is it jungler? Camille. Okay. I'll try CDR boots this game. Thing in no time. When I make it sure when I'm out of my mind, when I gotta live, when I gotta die. I die for you, everything I know, everything the whole time. What do you see before it's over? Lightning flash is getting closer. Everything I knew. That was a bit of a pain. Still worked out though. Holy shit, Set is giga smurfing top lane. What the fuck? Shen only has 2,600 gold. Here's a banger. Hold on, I need to click on it. I'll queue it up for next song. So unfortunate. We're doing okay, we're doing okay.
The joy of an audience is always worth it. On my way. Just set up before the next song. Which arrangement suits the mood?
Nice. I flashed ultied onto the Kennen, and I was able to use my empowered W on her, so Kennen did 0 damage that fight, basically. It's kind of nice. She can do enough damage to me. Again, man, the empowered W auto attack is so strong. Like, them being able to deal reduced damage, or them just dealing reduced damage, is just so powerful for Sona to have. It's crazy. Actually crazy. Hey, what's up, King Kai? Hello, hello. What's up? What's up? Because you having the time of his life on. Hey, Kenkai, have you tried fleet footwork on Sona before? Because low key, it's kind of broken. Low key, it's kind of strong. I don't know if you've ever tried it before, or if you've ever seen it before. My chat calls me a troll. I mean, you never listen to Twitch chat. Auto attack slow. Yeah, look at it, baby. Look at that. Woohoo! The auto attack slow, baby. My champ's kind of broken, you know. GG's. Guys, why is he playing Sona? Because I want to play it, try out the Star Guardian skin. Did you get the Star Guardian skin as well, Kenkai, or? No, Kenkai. Do you have the Star Guardian Sona skin? The beautiful skin that is Star Guardian Sona. Another MVP. I've gotten so many MVPs now with Sona. It's actually incredible. Actually insane. 16,000 damage. Did more damage again than my mid and my jungle. I feel like that's every game. Every game I'm doing more damage than my mid and my jungle. But it's working. It's working. GG's.